They ganged up big time on Timmy and made him feel very lonely and miserable. Timmy spent his days dreaming of being anywhere except school. He dreamt all through the lessons. He began to find it hard to keep up with his work. He dreaded break time, when Freddie Hammer and Mickey the Moose would push him up against the school wall and punch and kick him, then trip him up and call him Dim Tim and Fatty Batty. Twice Timmy even bunked off school and went down to the canal near the old playing field that hadn't been used for years and was all overgrown, even though he wasn't supposed to go there on his own. He ate his packed lunch and told himself stories about scoring a goal for England. He ate the chocolate bars he'd bought with his pocket money and longed for the end of the afternoon when he could go back to Gramps and a homemade cake. Timmy never said how bad things were at school. He couldn't, because his troubles needed a bit more than Gramps' usual nope and yep. It seemed that things could only get worse. But then Timmy found a photograph album, and everything changed. Gramps had been a baker. He used to make all the bread and cakes for Gran's tea shop. Now Gran and Timmy's mum, who also worked there, were gone, and the tea shop was closed. Gramps still spent his days baking cakes. It was all he knew how to do. The trouble was, there was only one customer, and that customer was Timmy Twinkle, and the one thing Timmy didn't need was any more cake to eat. Every day Timmy longed for the moment when he would open the front door and a waft of baking would wrap itself around him. Gramps would serve tea, homemade scones with lashings of cream and his own strawberry jam, followed by a sponge cake that seemed filled with love and iced with hope. They never said much, Gramps and Timmy. Even Sheriff, the parrot, was silent. He used to be the life and soul of the tea shop, greeting the customers with, "Howdy do, cowboy? Have you tied up your horse?" which made everyone laugh. But he too had given up talking after Gran's funeral and now refused to croak a word. "Perhaps he'd start talking if we opened the tea shop again," said Timmy. "Yep," said Gramps. Still, the tea shop stayed closed. Sheriff gave up coming into the lounge of an evening and sitting on Gramps' shoulder to watch the old cowboy movies. Instead, he spent most of his time on his perch in the empty shop with his head under his wing. "Do you think he's all right?" asked Timmy when Sheriff's feathers began to fall out. "Nope," said Gramps. "He looks more like a plucked chicken than a parrot," said Timmy. "Yep," said Gramps. "Do you think he should go to the vet?" asked Timmy. "Yep," said Gramps, and he put Sheriff in his cage and set off to town in his Morris Minor. That was when Timmy spotted it, the old photograph album that the birdcage had been sitting on. Its cover had got all dusty and was peeling apart, but inside the pictures were as good as new. They were all of the same young man. There were pictures of him with a handlebar moustache, dressed in old-fashioned clothes, with his leather lace-up boots resting on a football. The one Timmy liked best was of him being carried on the shoulders of his teammates. He had a big beaming smile across his face and was holding up a huge cup. Underneath was written, "Lytham St. Anne's Champion League winner 1912. Gramps returned with Sheriff. The parrot was not in a good mood and sulked on his perch. "Is he all right now?" asked Timmy. "Yep." "Nope," replied Gramps. He put the cage back where it belonged and sat down in his favourite armchair. For some reason, the cage wobbled unsteadily on the coffee table. Gramps looked at it, trying to figure out what was wrong. "I think you need to put this under it," said Timmy, showing Gramps the photo album. "Yep," said Gramps. "I've been looking at it," said Timmy. "Can I keep it out? It's all football pictures." "Yep," replied Gramps, finding an old Army and Navy catalogue to use instead. "Who's this, Gramps?" asked Timmy, showing Gramps the picture of the young man. "Is he someone important?" Gramps put on his glasses and looked at the photo. "Yep," he said. Timmy felt a flutter of excitement in his tummy. "Do you know him, then?" asked Timmy.